report in 21st Century, The Boy Named Crow, excerpt from Kafka on the Shore. Let's start with the author. The author is Haruki Marukami. Was He was born in Kyoto, Japan on January 12, 1942. After attending college in Waseda University on 1973, Marukami ran an humble jazz bar for 7 years with his wife. Hear the Wind Sing, his first novel, won the Gonzo Literature for Budding Writers in 1979. His success erupted with two sequels, Pinball 1973 and A Wild Sheep Chase, which is altogether form the trilogy of the Rat. Next, let's go to the conclusion. The Boy Named Crow by Haruki Marukami depicts the burden of a child when their future is determined by their parents. This can be observed from the way back before up to the modern era. The complexity within only the excerpt itself is boggling. It is enabled to the reader to experience a new perspective, no matter how strange and unusual the concept may seem. And here is the excerpt of the story of The Boy Named Crow. You, I will not take long. You can just pause the video or just screenshot it so you can read this following stories of the excerpt of The Boy Named Crow. Next, after the excerpt, next is the summary. The excerpt of The Boy Named Crow is a prologue of the book Kafka on the Shore. It started off with a conversation between Kafka and Crow, his alter ego. They were talking about the plan on Kafka running away from home, and on his 15th birthday. He was planning to execute his flee. With him are the money he stole from his father, his cell phone, and hunting knife. Crow then advised he need more than what to survive since the great trial awaits his journey. He said that he needs to be the toughest 15 years old if ever he wants to survive in the real world. Crow also compared fate as a sandstorm pertaining on Kafka's conflict. As you may know, here is the characters of the story. Kafka Tamura, a 15-year-old runaway living in Shikoku. Kafka decides to run away from after his 15th birthday and trains for a big day in 2 years. He works out to build strength and bulk, which makes him look older than he really is. Next is Crow. Isn't time a voice of Kafka's head? Himself is an actual crow. Sometimes he appears in Kafka. Sometimes Kafka only hears his thoughts. Next is the conflict. The conflict is man versus himself. Kafka is continuously exchanging reasons with Crow, which is technically himself. Point of view. First person point of view. The narrator is Kafka himself. He was the one who narrates himself because he is also Crow and he is Kafka. Theme. Survival. Throughout the excerpt, the main character is persistently trying to reason out with his own self, Crow, that he would actually run away and maybe find his mother or sister. but to be able to withstand the cruelty of the real world, he must first learn how to survive. What will he need? What will he eat? Where will he go? Does he even know how far he will able to go? These questions were then exchanged between Kafka and Crow. He was he has to be the world's toughest 50 years old because it is the only way for him to survive. Next is freedom. I don't want to rain on your parade or anything, but I wouldn't count on escaping in this place if I were you. No, no matter what, how far you run, distance might not solve anything. Crow said to Kafka. He can run away from home, but it will not make himself truly free. It will not free him from the problems and suffering he had experienced. Throughout the novel, Crow reminds Kafka that distance will not give him freedom. It only postpones the inevitable. And that's the end of my report. Thank you for listening, and I'm sorry for my voice because I have a flu. Thank you for listening.